Welcome to the Royal Docks. This area has seen a dramatic transformation over the last decade. However, its heritage and history are still very apparent today. Mike, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name's Derek O'Reilly, I'm a London taxi driver. Could you tell me where we are?
We're in the Royal Docks. I'm the managing director of the company who look after the Royal Docks. If you'd been standing here 30, 40 years ago, you'd be looking at a dock full of ships. And this is what the Royal Docks were created for. They were created at a time when the other docks in London had become too small for the big, large, ironclad steamships. If you think this was all marshland before it was built, and without heavy machinery, they built these docks that are 13 metres deep. Can you imagine digging 13 metres down into the marshland and creating these huge spaces for docks for ships? And I just think it's an incredible piece of Victorian engineering. And they were created in three parts. So the dock in front of us now, this is Royal Victoria Dock, and that was the first dock to be built around about 1870. And behind us, where the Crystal Building is, used to be a lock that connected Royal Victoria Dock to the river. 4 kilometres from here to the far end of the docks is the main lock today. And what was added over time were Royal Albert Dock, King George V Dock, and Pontoon Dock. So by about 1920, these docks were absolutely booming, and the whole of the area was dependent on the docks for work. And they lived in unbelievably deprived conditions. So the docks boomed in the 1920s, but as large containerised shipping came along, even these docks were too small to take ships that large. In fact, those ships couldn't get this far downriver. So gradually, the Royal Docks started to decline. And by 1982, the last cargo ship came into the Royal Docks and they were closed. This caused tremendous problems for people in the area. And the London Docklands Development Corporation was created at that point, and their job was to try and help the area regenerate. And really what you see today is a result of those early plans that the London Docklands Development Corporation put together and plans that we've taken on with the Greater London Authority. We're quite keen not to lose that connection with the past, so we've been running a programme called Forgotten Stories. And the idea of that is that we realise that the generation that used to work here when this was a working docks are now very, very old. And we wanted to capture their stories about the Royal Docks so we didn't lose the history of this place. For example, what used to happen is all the ships would sound their horns on New Year's Eve, and everyone would come out of their houses and wish each other Happy New Year. And we captured with a couple of people who were kids at the time of what it was like. And we found some sound footage of all the ships sounding their horns in the Royal Docks. It's incredible to hear all of the ships. You suddenly realise how many ships would have been in here. One of the guys I've got to know pretty well tells the story of what this place was like during the Second World War. And if you think they estimate 25,000 bombs were dropped on the docks of London during the Second World War. And he remembers as a little boy coming out of the house and hearing all the ack-ack guns going and all the barriers of guns that were all positioned around the Royal Docks. And the Royal Docks took a tremendous hammering during the Second World War. But these people were so tough, and they would just pick themselves up and get on with work that was so vitally important for the war effort, including, indeed, building the temporary harbours for the Normandy invasions when they happened, were built right here in the Royal Docks. So what we've been able to do is capture an archive of lots of really fascinating stories of what it was like round here. We can look around today, it looks amazing, but the history is what this place is all about, and that's what we're really tried to capture. The first thing that came here was an airport, believe it or not, and that's London City Airport, which is down in the middle of the docks. We've got ExCeL, which is the big exhibition centre for London, and we've also got a university at the far end, University of East London. We're going to be doing all sorts of things here in the water to try and encourage people to use this place as a destination for leisure. So we have a beach during the summer. We have all sorts of water sports going on. Even mad people tonight will be doing some open water swimming in that water in this sub-zero temperature. I know, they've got to be nuts. But we have all sorts of things going on, wakeboarding. We've got a big regatta centre down the far end, so sailing and canoeing and rowing going on. I mean, it's already got some great things to offer. And what we're going to be doing with the new developments is giving people even more reason to come out to the docks. So the whole idea is try and bring life back to this place and get people to come here and appreciate it for what it is.
Mike, thank you very much indeed.
Pleasure.
I don't often get journeys out to the Docklands at the moment, but I'm hoping that will improve and increase with your future developments.